Hello, my name is Jenai Moorhead with Foundation Consultants, and today's video is tips on obtaining property. So a lot of nonprofits ask me, can we obtain property? Can we obtain buildings? And I never say no, because I'm standing here in a project that I helped to start some 27 years ago, and we're going strong. So I'll give you some tips and where you can go initially, but what I have to tell you, the most important thing I have to tell you is to be diligent and please do not give up. So the first thing I have to tell you with my notes is seek out your local, state, and federal sources of announcement. So before this video, I looked at the General Services Administration and saw that they had surplus property. And that's one of the go-to places that we used to go to, and we used to obtain equipment. We used to obtain office furniture, and even we had the use of some cars that were donated to us by the General Services Administration. Now, I'm sure that things have changed quite a bit, but in order to do that, you have to sign up. And when I say local, state, and federal, your city or county also may have these surplus programs, and for nonprofits, of course, and you have to sign up for them. And also, you have to meet the guidelines to be able to use certain things. So if your nonprofit needs office furniture, then of course you're going to tell the government agency that you're getting from that that office furniture is going to go into your offices. And they do have the right to come by and see if it's there. And so please be prepared to be monitored when you do all these things. So tip number one is seek out your local, state, and federal sources of announcements. And then if the GSA does not meet your need, then of course make sure that you sign up for surplus property programs through your city and county and also your state. So the second thing is when you access these programs, a surplus property, you need to have a team in place, because the requirements often require a team of people working together to achieve a goal. And so in my experience, we needed a building, and I kept looking for a building and looking for a building many years ago, and I signed up under a program called the underutilized property program, where they were closing the bases. And so when I signed up for that, they sent me out a piece of paper, and I began to fill out that paper. And it was pretty much a grant, but it required a lot of moving pieces. It required a lot of reports. It required me to talk to a lot of people. It required me to also let our congressmen and city officials know what we were doing, what we were planning to do. And so get your team in place. You need to have a team. And that leads me to another thing is you should have a program up and running. So these surplus property programs do not depend on you planning to do something. They want to see you in action. So a lot of people, they say, well, they write a grant and they say we plan to do something. And so I always tell my clients that I'd like to see them test out their ideas. And I'd like to see their ideas being tested in the neighborhood, in real life. And so the thing that I asked them to is give me something to write about. And so I can't write about planning, because that's a planning document, okay? But I'd like to say in my grants what you actually have done. And so that's something that I want you to consider as one of your points. And then find out what the cost is. I know that a lot of these programs with the state and the federal government and the city, they give you stuff for free, but is free really free? No. It requires maintenance. So for one county federal surplus program, we needed printers. And so we went into the building specifically looking for printers, and we found some printers, and they were great. And so we put them up, and we dusted them off and put them up, and they worked. And actually, I don't know how long they were sitting in the county offices, but for us, they actually lasted a good 10 years and printed very well. And so, but again, those printers required maintenance, so the cost really wasn't free. It required us to buy certain parts for it. And the parts were very inexpensive, but we had to maintain it to keep it. And another surplus property program many years ago, we actually purchased cars and for our staff. And so our staff ran around in them for a while. And then we had a program where we were helping families in our housing. And for our housing video, go to my videos and look at that one. But in our housing, and so these families needed temporary vehicles. And so for that little story, I went to the Chevrolet dealer and asked them to teach me how to lease a car. And so they gave me their lease program. They actually taught me, and props to the people who teach you, okay? And then we were able to do a temporary lease program with our little cars. So that's some of the ideas that we came up with the surplus property. And then, of course, our clients had to have insurance and gas, and we needed to know where the car was at all times, and they only had it temporarily. And then they turned it in. So that's just some of the things that I want you to remember. And then also get ready for opposition, because when people see you starting to get things that increase your capacity to help people, sometimes they just get all twisted up, and so keep it on the down low until you can see your way through and put the equipment in your office or get what you need to serve your clients. All right, you don't have to be braggadocious about this stuff. All right, and then also get ready for a lot of work. Get ready for a lot of work. Because as I said, with the buildings that we acquired many years ago, there is a lot of maintenance. There is a lot of maintenance, and it has served its purpose. We're doing well, okay? However, we do have to keep the buildings up. And then there's contracts that we have to sign. We had to sign, and these programs that we said we would run, where's that money coming from? The federal government doesn't give us that money. Okay, we have to raise that money on our own. And so there's a lot of things that you need to think about when you are thinking about asking the federal government for donations of real property and assets. And then sometimes the federal government will not donate those things to you. They will. They have a real estate department, and they will sell them to you. And so you have to meet those guidelines too. So those are just a few tips that I'm giving you for the acquisition of federal property. I'm not going to go into the details because every federal department, every state department, city and county have their own applications and their own guidelines. But these are the things that I want you to pay attention to. And I'm just going to repeat them real quick. Seek out your local, state, and federal sources of announcements. And I mentioned the General Services Administration is just one of them. Okay. Find out what the cost is. Free is not free. And have your program running and in place. Get ready for opposition and get ready for work. So this is Jenai Moorhead with Foundation Consultants. And one of the things that I want you to think about is all this takes planning. And I have a business planning nonprofit course that would be great for you. And so I want you to click the link below and check it out. It is in concert with Life Plan. And so I want you to check out all of the resources. And I'm in there with you and planning. And the people who are taking it are having a ball. They're saying they're enjoying it, because I don't think that planning should be boring. I think it should be exciting, because it opens up the possibilities of what you can do before you do it. Okay, so again, for this video, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel And I'd love for you to like it and also visit my webpage and see my other services. All right. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.